going on, y'all? It's Mechanics Garage coming at you today. Today we got a Mercedes GLC 300 sitting here, and the customer wants us to do the front brakes and the rear brakes and the upper control arm and lower control arm on the driver's side. But right now I'm gonna show you how to go through the process of taking off these front brakes. So they want these pads and these rotors done. So on here, you gotta have a couple weird tools. You gotta have these little E sockets. They're basically like a reverse of the Torx. So this one you're gonna need a E14 and an E10. The E10 is to take off the sensor. You gotta use it to break this loose. And the E14 right here is for taking off the caliper. You got 4 of these. You got one up top, one here, and one at the bottom. And that's you're gonna need to do that. But to start off, these brakes got these pins in here, and it's got this metal bracket on here. So you're gonna need to get you like a punch or like a really skinny screwdriver, and you got these holes on top of here. You put this through. This allows you to tap out these pins. Like I said, you got one on top and one on the bottom. And once you tap these all the way through, you can pull the bracket out. And when you remove your sensor, you can just slide your pads right out. Stop it. All right, so now I've taken out this bolt here. You gotta remove this sensor from your brake pad. You just wiggle that off. You see, ever so gently. Because this you'll have to put back on the pad when you replace those. All right, guys, so as you go ahead and pull these bolts out using the E14, you'll notice the caliper is splitting because this is actually a 2-piece caliper. So now we pulled the front off. So that was kind of easy to get that part away. Now we need to remove the rotor. You've always got these little screws in here. We've already taken it out.
T30.
It's a T30. So once we pull that out, the rotor should just come right off. And that slide off with ease. So before we put the new one on, we're going to inspect this old one. They actually look fine, but the customer wanted new pads and rotors. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up around this hub before we put the new rotor back on, which is right here. As you see, they got some cross drill rotors that they wanted to put on here. Not really necessary. This ain't really like a friggin' sports car, but that's what they wanted. That's what they bought. So we're gonna clean that up, then put this rotor back on. All right, so we've gone ahead, we cleaned up the mating surfaces. Now we're gonna put a little anti-seize on there, just to make sure that, you know, this is a good clean surface to move those on. And then while we're in here, we're gonna go ahead and push back on our pistons on both sides. So that way when we put our pads back in, they should go back in fairly smoothly.
Going.
All right, guys, so we've put everything back together. As you can see, like I said before, we had to put our brackets back on. We put our sensor bracket back on. So we put our bottom pin through. Now we gotta put our top pin through here, which you just slide it through the back, through the pad. We're gonna tap it in a little bit. So this pin's gotta go through the bracket, like so. You push down the bracket, push it through the other pad, which sometimes is a little bit of a challenge. But yeah, it's got to go through the pad and then back into this pin. And you see how we did the bottom. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and lean my head in here and probably block the camera. But I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. pins in. Both of those are secure. And here on the passenger side, you've got your wear sensor. So you make sure you push your wear sensor back on your outside pads. And that's it. It's all buttoned up. So that's it for right now, guys. So we got some other things we're gonna get to, but for the front brakes, that's it. Just clean that back up. Probably rinse this off a little bit with some brake cleaner, put our wheel back on. And for more tips and tricks, follow us at the Mechanics Garage. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.